And the website is actually called Photop, right up here, photop.com. We used it before. All right, that's how you spell it. That's where it's at. All right, and we're going to go to File Open, File Open, and then you'll just find your picture wherever your picture happens to be, and we'll just, open it up. So we'll open that up, and you can see I've opened up multiple pictures. I've got, you've got your this one, and this one. I like these because they were textures for the most part. And what I want to do is I am going to open up a new file to start working on. So I'm going to go, after I open these up, and you can see my tabs are right here, and you can toggle from project to project. I'm going to go File, New, and I'm going to go to Print. All right, and you know what, I guess to start with, you can make it any size, but I'm just going to click Letter and hit Create. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, you can see over here is my layer window. Here are my tools. I'm only going to go over a couple different tools at a time. But what I want to do is I want to kind of start cutting out pieces of these pictures and then collaging them together on my new project. So I'll start over here, and what I'll look for is interesting moments. So I'll go to my toolbar, and the very first tool over here is the Move tool. The second tool is the Rectangle Select. And when you click and hold, you can see there's an Ellipse Select, which is a circular one. We'll stick with that. And what I can do is I can click and drag. And when I click and drag, you should be able to see a sort of dashed line rectangle that's been created. And that dashed line rectangle, I'm sorry, my computer's running a little slow, I got a lot of programs open. That dashed line rectangle represents an area that's selected. Now, when you're outside of that, if you click again, it'll disappear, and you just click and drag and create a new one. All right. If you move inside there, you'll see you'll have this slightly different cross. If you click and drag now, you can literally just move that shape around. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick, it's all good, and I like the lighting and texture and all of this. I'm just going to pick one little small section of this thing, and here it is. And what I'm going to do, while it's selected, I'm going to hit Control, holding the key down, and then tap the letter C for copy. And once I have that, I'm going to go to my other projects, and I'm going to go to New Project, and I'm going to hit Control V to paste it. Oops. No, sorry, my thing's a little wonky. Control C. And Control V. All right. Now that I've pasted that little piece on, you can see over here that a new layer has appeared. And you have this background layer, which is the white. The checkerboard means there's nothing there. The second layer over here is just another little piece. And the eyeballs I can click, just make them disappear. They don't erase them. Now, I can use my Move tool. And my Move tool is this arrow on the top over here. And I can click, and I can move this around and place it wherever I want. If I select, you're probably by default, you're going to see Auto Select and Transform Controls. If I click Transform Controls, you'll see these boundary box around it. And when you go to the corners, you're able to make it bigger. But you can see what's happening is you're stretching it out. If you want to undo something, hold down Control and tap the letter Z, like 0. If I grab the corner and I hold down the Shift key, it will make it bigger and smaller and keep the ratio correct. So I just want to see that you know how to do that. When I have something the way I want it, I'm just going to press Enter. And you'll see up here when I hit Enter, it changed the options over here, and that lets you know that you're done with Transform. I'm going to come back again to that original project, and you know what? I'm going to grab my rectangular marquee, and I'll take another little bite out of this thing. Select an area, hold down Control, press the letter C for copy, and then I'll come over here and paste it, Control V to paste. See, a new layer's popped up. I can grab my Move tool, and I can kind of play around with it. If I want to go to the other layer, I can click right here and sort of remove it. If I hit Auto Select, you'll see that it will automatically select whatever layer I click on. So I don't have to change layers on this side. And I think I want to make this a little smaller, so I'm going to click the corner and hold down Shift while I'm doing that. And I'm going to place that there, and you can see all my options up here. When I have those options out, when I've moved something and resized it, I just want to hit enter, and you'll know that it's placed and set because that stuff will disappear. Now I'm going to go to another project. I'll go to the other picture that I have over here, and I like this one. I want to get a little piece of this. I'm going to click and drag through this. I'm going to select an area. I'm going to hold down Control C to copy it. Click on my new project, and I'll paste it. And I'm trying to move this around to sort of make it interesting. But when I put it over here, I realize, you know what, I want to see this one behind the other two. So you can see where the layer is. This is the layer order. If I click and hold on this, I can drag it underneath the other one. See how I kind of overlapped it? I can drag it underneath here as well. So now I have that other piece, you know, and I have it set up over there, and I've placed it. Again, I can use my move tool to kind of move it around and try it in a couple different areas. But ideally, what I'd like to do is I'd like to try to, you know, create a little bit of overlap. And what I do is I have my pieces, I start nudging things around and trying them in different places to kind of see what looks good. I got a lot of gray here, so let me go to my other one and see, like, you know, let me try something a little different here. Get a little bit of blue, take a little bit of blue, select an area, Control C, and Control V. And again, I'm going to grab my move tool, I'm going to move it around. I decided, you know, maybe I want to make this a bit bigger. I'll hold down Shift while I'm doing this. Definitely don't want to cover up everything else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it by hitting Enter. I'm going to reorder this layer and put it all the way in the back. Well, now I have a little something else to play with. I'm going to kind of play around with my other little pieces. Oops. Control Z to undo. And sort of try to do something a little funky and a little weird. So I'll play with the sort of layout of these things. I'll adjust the overlap and things like that, and I'll try to make like a little collage here, even if that collage is a little odd looking or a little strange or doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. You know what, I just, for my purposes right now, what I want to see is, I just want to see that you understand how to cut, how to copy, how to paste, how to bring it into a new document, and ultimately how to move things around and resize them. So we're just going to play with rectangles right now, and what we want to do is we want to kind of just come up with maybe, let's say this is 1, 2, 3, let's say at least 6 layers on your particular, I guess, sort of sample piece. So try to create 6 layers. You could use these pictures, you can use other ones. And then try to come up with just some sort of interesting arrangement. We won't talk too much about the arrangement right now, because right now all I want to do is sort of just get you using the tools and seeing how to use the tools. So I've made my little design over here by cutting out pieces and overlapping them, resizing them, and creating this sort of collage of the sneakers that you had. What I want to do is I want to keep this. I'm going to hit File, Save as a PSD. That's a Photoshop document. That means that when I open that document, it will have all these layers in it, and I can always come back tomorrow and move things around if I really want to. The other thing about that is that it'll only open up in either Photoshop or obviously this program Photopea. So if you just click directly on that saved PSD, it'll be in your downloads folder, but it won't just automatically open. Since I saved that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just close this out.